One person built an AI agent in 82 days. It became the most starred GitHub repository in history. It went completely viral on Twitter and all over YouTube. And then Sam Altman announced that the creator, Peter Steinberg, is joining OpenAI. People are guessing that the deal was anywhere from $50 million to $10 billion in cash and equity. But the craziest part is that this wasn't some billion-dollar team with unlimited resources. This was one developer who understood exactly what makes an agent win. In this video, I'm going to break down 5 factors why this agent went so viral, show you why most people are missing the real point, and give you a clear playbook so you can build the same kind of agent yourself. Let's dive in. So, if you've seen my Agents as a Service video from almost exactly a year ago, OpenClaw is the clearest real-world example of that idea playing out. Agents replacing SaaS and doing the work end-to-end. Instead of just giving you the tools, they automate the entire process. And you don't need to design any interfaces or build dashboards. You just need an agent with a few skills, and that typically gets the whole job done. This is why the whole SaaS market is down billions of dollars. Now let's go through the 5 viral factors and try to understand why this agent won. For each one, I'll also translate it into a principle that you can reuse when building your own agents. Reason number 1, memory. The first thing that OpenClaw does when you launch it is ask you to pick its identity. You give it a name, a vibe, and maybe even a personality. And what makes this such a wow moment for so many people is that the agent actually renames itself. It modifies its own code, which really plays to people's imagination. Because now they're not just using software. You're now talking to something that actually evolves with you. And the principle here is simple. Persistent identity plus persistent context turns a bot into something people can build a relationship with. And that's what makes them come back. Now, from a technical perspective, it's actually not that complicated. Everything gets stored in a single file called memory.md. Once a day, OpenClaw runs an automatic prompt that reminds the agent to save anything important. And when it needs to recall something, it uses semantic search with embeddings stored in a SQLite database. So simple setup, but super effective. However, memory alone is not why OpenClaw went viral. Plenty of platforms had memory for a while now. So let's see what else is going on. Reason number 2, proactiveness. OpenClaw doesn't just wait for you to tell it what to do. Unlike all other agents, it schedules tasks and follows up on its own. And this is why so many people are already treating it as a replacement for NA10, because instead of building automations manually, you just tell the agent what to do and when. One of the most common use cases for OpenClaw that I see online is a daily morning brief sent directly to your iMessage or Slack. Peter Steinberg also mentioned on the Lex Fridman podcast that there is a special surprise me prompt built into OpenClaw.
Initially, it was just a prompt surprise me every half an hour. But the fact that I made it proactive and that it knows you and that it cares about you, at least it's prompted to do that, makes it very interesting because it would just sometimes ask a follow-up question.
At a random point, the agent just sends this prompt to itself and follows up with you. This is pretty cool, and this is genuinely not something that we have seen before. Under the hood, OpenClaw wakes up every 30 minutes by default. That's called a heartbeat. On each heartbeat, the agent reads a heartbeat.md file, where it can put a checklist of things to review. If nothing needs your attention, it just replies heartbeat OK, and nothing gets sent to you. If something does need your attention, it follows up in one of the channels. That's the surprise me behavior in a nutshell. On top of that, the agent also has access to a cron tool for exact time scheduling. This way you can also simply tell the agent send this message at 9 AM every Monday, and the agent can call this tool to schedule its own future runs. So while the heartbeat and the surprise me prompts are new, the backend is mostly just cron jobs, something that many platforms and agents have already experimented with in the past as well. So proactiveness alone does not explain this virality either. Reason number 3, integrations. OpenClaw works inside Slack, WhatsApp, Telegram, and a bunch of other messaging platforms. And this is actually one of the biggest things that I've learned after almost 2 years of running my AI agency. Most people, especially non-technical users, don't want to learn a new tool. They're not going to open a new app, create an account, and go through the onboarding flow just to talk to an agent. But if it shows up in their Telegram, they might actually use it because it feels like texting a friend. And for businesses, the agent can sit right inside your team's Slack and actually do the work inside the channel. And the principle here is that if your agent lives inside the app that you use every single day, you are much more likely to use it. So the distribution becomes much easier. And think about it from a builder's perspective too. Peter didn't build a front-end, he just used Telegram as the UI. That alone probably saved them weeks of development time. For example, right now OpenClaw runs on my machine and it responds to me directly in Telegram. It's really convenient because it's like a gateway to my computer that I can use from anywhere in the world. And there is one more integration channel worth mentioning, the terminal. OpenClaw has a built-in terminal UI via the OpenClaw TUI command. For developers, this is the fastest path to using an agent. And this is the exact same reason why Claude Code blew up so much last year. Terminal turns out to be one of the most natural and simple ways to interact with an agent on your own machine. So between messaging apps and the terminal, OpenClaw covers both non-technical users and the developers. And from a technical perspective, this is actually one of the simpler parts. OpenClaw uses light LLM under the hood, then it's just basically mapping the events from the underlying LLM to the integration channel of your choice. But again, messaging integrations are nothing new as well. Plenty of agents and bots have lived inside Slack and Telegram for years. So this alone doesn't explain the explosion either. Reason number 4, file system access. OpenClaw can access your local files and your active browser session. And this is a bigger deal than it sounds, because it means the agent can continue work exactly where you left off. You don't have to upload anything, you don't have to copy-paste context into a chat window. The agent already sees what you're working on. And the principle behind this is that AI agents are all about the context. The more relevant context an agent has, the better the output. And by using your local file system, the agent can keep working on the same things as you seamlessly. For example, you can say, make me a slide deck from yesterday's meeting notes, and the agent just pulls up the files and does it. From a technical perspective, this is also super simple. OpenClaw runs directly on your machine, and the agent just has built-in tools for reading files, writing files, and running shell commands. When the agent needs to access something, it just executes it right there on your computer. This, however, does have some serious security implications that I will discuss in a bit. But file system access on its own is not new either. Claude Code and other coding agents have had this for a while now. So let's look at the last factor. Reason number 5, browser access. OpenClaw can use any platform like a human would, simply by controlling the browser. And this is what eliminates the need for extra tools, third-party connectors, and MCP servers. And the principle here is that the browser is the universal integration layer. If the platform has a web interface, the agent can just use it without needing an API or a custom connector. For example, the agent can open the browser and navigate straight to our Notion workspace, which would otherwise require setting up an MCP server. Same with any other internal tool or any platform that doesn't have a public API. From a technical perspective, the agent just uses Playwright with headless Chromium under the hood, and the agent can interact with it just like a real user would. The same approach most browser automation agents use today. Now, browser agents have existed for a while too, so if you're keeping count, none of these 5 factors are actually new on their own, and that's exactly the point. However, before I tell you what actually made OpenClaw go so viral, there is one more thing that you need to understand first. All this power comes at a serious cost. Cisco recently published a blog post called "Personal AI Agents Like OpenClaw Are a Security Nightmare," and companies like Meta have already banned or restricted OpenClaw on corporate devices. One Meta executive told employees that they would lose their jobs if caught using OpenClaw on their work laptops. And this makes perfect sense, because if you install their own skill, someone could take over your entire computer, steal all your files, or send messages on your behalf across any of your connected channels. They also found that the top-ranked skill on ClawHub called "What Would Ellen Do" was literally malware, and 26% of 31,000 skills that they analyzed had at least one vulnerability. On top of that, there are prompt injection attacks. A hacker can send a crafted email, and the agent will follow the instructions inside it, like sending your files to someone else. BitSide also reported over 30,000 of OpenClaw instances just running openly on the web that anyone could connect to. And there's already malware designed to specifically steal your OpenClaw credentials and take control of your computer remotely. So keep all this in mind. Now, what actually made this agent go so viral? Some people think it's the memory, some people think it's the proactiveness, others think it's the integrations. But if you copy only one of these, you still won't understand why it actually won. There is a book called Hooked by Nir Eyal that I personally really love, and it's basically like the Bible for building viral products in Silicon Valley. Twitter, Instagram, and most of the social media platforms we use today were built on top of the framework from this book. It's called the Hook model. It's a 4-step cycle. trigger, action, reward, and investment. Now, here's what I think Peter actually did, whether he realized it or not. He built the first AI agent that closes this entire cycle. The trigger is the proactiveness. The agent reaches out to you on its own. It sends you a morning brief or it follows up with you randomly, which makes you come back to the app. The action is the file system and the browser access. The agent can actually do things on your computer. It can open the browser, read your files, and execute your tasks. The reward is knowing that the work just gets done by itself. That's the dopamine hit. And the investment is the memory. Every time you interact with OpenClaw, it remembers more about you. So the next interaction is even better than the last one. And that's essentially what keeps you coming back. No other agent had all 4 components of this loop in one place. ChatGPT, for example, had scheduled triggers and memory, but it can't actually do things on your computer. Manus and GenSpark had file system and browser access, but were missing memory and integrations. And Agent Zero has file system access and memory, but no integrations. OpenClaw is the first agent that actually closes the full hook cycle. And that's exactly why it's so sticky and exactly why it went so viral. So now let me tell you how to actually repeat its success. First, go watch my Agents as a Service video if you haven't already. Use it as a mental model for why agents are replacing SaaS. Next, I recommend you build your own agent loop from scratch at least once so you understand the core cycle. Take the input, call the model, execute the tools, return the result, and then repeat. That's really all OpenClaw is under the hood. The same loop plus those 5 extra components on top. Once you get that, you can build something like this in literally a week. Then make it custom for a specific niche or industry. And this is the most important part. OpenClaw is very general. This is why so many people can use it, but it's also why most businesses can't. And making something this general go viral is really, really hard. We keep hearing about these Manuses, Lovables, and GenSparks and others hitting 100 million ARR in 8 months. But we don't hear about the thousands of other projects that never got any traction. Even Peter himself built over 20 projects in the past year before OpenClaw took off. OpenClaw literally started as a simple WhatsApp wrapper for Claude. The guy was literally running 20 plus terminal windows at the same time, just grinding through project after project for over a year. And we only see the one that worked at the end, not the other 20. This is why for most people I'd recommend building vertical agents. You still leverage the same agents as a service model, but you don't need to make something go viral. You just need to solve a real problem for a specific type of a business. So build an agent in your own niche that closes the same hook cycle. For example, you can build a real estate agent that connects to CRM and listing platforms or other internal tools through the browser, follows the same trigger and action loop where it can send proactively new listings every morning to your clients, and then your clients could also chat with it directly through WhatsApp. So same architecture, but built clean and secure from the ground up for one specific use case. And because you built it yourself, you just deploy it in the cloud with access only to the data that it needs. Way more secure than running someone else's code on your machine. Now, I know I just told you to build vertical agents and not go general, but we've been building agents for over 2 years now, longer than almost anyone else, so we're actually crazy enough to try to beat OpenClaw at its own game. So let me quickly demo to you what's coming to our platform soon. We have an agent swarm that coordinates everything and can spawn other agents. For example, a slides agent that builds presentations, a doc agent that writes and edits documents, a deep research agent that goes deep on any topic, and a general agent that can handle anything you throw at it. We already have memory built into the framework, and we're adding proactiveness very soon, so you'll be able to schedule your agents just like OpenClaw. And the big difference is that everything runs in the cloud, so you don't have to worry about the security issues that I mentioned earlier. And once those agents are live, you'll be able to use them instantly without any setup required. So if you're a developer and you want to build your own vertical agents using the blueprint from this video, I recently made a full updated step-by-step guide. Consider watching that next. But if you just want to use a powerful general AI agent without setting anything up, sign up for the early access in our free school community below, and I'll announce it when it's ready. I'll see you there.